Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stating the Obvious. Today, what are we doing? Shit. God damn it. Somebody tell me.
Stating the obvious.
Oh my god, Noah, you're a genius.
That is our thing.
How do you do it every time? Every time, Noah always has the answers. 2 plus 2?
It's 5.
Noah. Or 5. Oh, now we have a different question.
I mean, he is the answer, so he determines it.
He determines it, or he is the answer? Is Noah everything? Everywhere? Potentially all at once?
Are you saying that because I'm Asian?
Yes.
Yeah, Noah.
All right.
You are. Are you not?
Yeah,
Do you deny your heritage, your blood?
I don't deny it. But, I don't know, I don't know any Bollywood movies. I probably should. But, what if I just, started, calling you random Bollywood movies? How would that make you feel?
That would fill Jit up with national pride. What are you talking about?
Jai Hind. Thank you. Namaste. No, honestly, if you did that, I'd be so proud. I'd be proud that you finally, learned something.
I mean, we've been on this
us.
before, but, why is it incumbent upon me to learn things when I'm surrounded by brown people who have not made any effort to teach me?
Noah, have you taught me how to use chopsticks?
I teach you all the time. Yeah.
No?
That's facts.
What?
Have you taught me how to use chopsticks? That's what I thought.
Oh, shit.
I mean, you should just know how to do chopsticks. It's not that hard. It's 2 sticks.
But I
You
need
just
an Asian
use
man
them.
to teach me. How am I supposed to know?
Just pick up your sticks, man. Just chop it.
No, I've immersed myself in your culture. I've watched so much anime lately.
Okay.
I listen to K-pop. I have made the effort.
That's true.
It's now
That's
it's your
true.
turn. It's your turn, Noah.
I never could have seen this coming. How much of a weeb you become.
What are you talking
It
about?
is frankly shocking. It is shocking to me.
You really think this wouldn't have happened?
I remember once upon a time you were like, "Oh man, anime? Yeah, that's stupid. Why would anybody watch that?"
This is just lies. This is.
Bro, thank God Jit didn't go through this anime phase though in middle school or something like that. That would have been tragic.
Oh no, 100%. It would have killed my
I'm
man.
a casual anime enjoyer. Pranay watched anime before
I don't know if
any
you're
of us.
casual, Jit.
Pranay, back me up here.
Yes, sir.
You were watching anime before any of us. The first one in this group, maybe, to be the anime watcher.
Fuck with.
Oh yeah, Pop
And then he
definitely
stopped.
was, yeah.
And then he stopped watching.
But you've been the most consistent one.
I have been the most consistent one. That I will concede. And I don't even need to concede. I will gladly say that.
Okay, but Noah's not over here calling you a weep. That's the.
That's just the fact of the matter.
I mean, that's
just how it
because
is.
Pranay, in the middle of conversations, doesn't do some random JJK reference and start opening up some other dimensional portal.
Let's move on to our regularly scheduled intro. Okay, stating the obvious. Ooh, okay. Noah,
What?
you're a dumbass. Do you have a fact for me? An obvious fact.
My obvious fact is that allergies are stupid. I don't understand why they exist. What is the evolutionary advantage you get from randomly not being able to breathe through your nose? How does that help you survive?
I have allergies right now. They're kind of killing me.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
You're an allergy.
I don't understand. Why do we have this mechanism, right? What does it do for us?
Bro, there's some video I saw maybe 2 months ago that was explaining why they had allergies, and they were saying it could be linked somehow, an evolutionary thing that we have not evolved out of, where against a defense against worms or parasites.
What? A defense against worms?
Yeah,
Bro,
parasitic worms.
I haven't seen any, but you're telling me
It's
your
just we
nose
haven't-
just can detect worms and
Are they the microscopic worms, the parasitic? Are they?
Not
they really
microscopic,
small?
legit. I think worms,
Oh, like worms.
parasitic worms, just
okay.
however parasitic worms are.
I guess
I don't know how they are.
I don't know, man.
But basically, your body just starts developing random things as a random check, in the sense of
Yeah, I've heard this theory too.
you're allergic to, I don't know, bananas, just because your body's just randomly trying to see if, like, I don't know, the worm is
It
associated
smells
with
like a
bananas
banana,
or
but is it
something.
really a worm?
But one of the other theories I've heard on like why allergies exists is inverse Darwinism, which is basically like allergies are more of a problem in the modern world than they were, in ancient times, because like all these medications and stuff and things that are supposed to like prevent these defects that would have been just like eliminated from the gene pool are now becoming more prevalent. So allergies are more of a problem.
Yeah, but it's only been like a couple hundred years, right? There's no way, like, everybody has allergies, right? Like, everyone.
I mean, no, not everyone.
Or who here doesn't have allergies?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, not everyone. It's like, I don't know what the percentage
Silence. The crickets are chirping.
We have 4 people here.
Yeah, I'm
No,
just
we
saying.
have the entire
sample
world
size.
population.
Okay,
Good- good sample size, if
I
you
just
ask me.
looked it up for you, Noah. Approximately 25% of the adult population in the U.S. has an allergy.
25%.
That's not that much.
Yeah.
I'm calling bullshit on that.
This is from the CDC.
Yeah, you know what? Like, we all know the CDC's lying. They've been lying for years.
He's right about that.
Okay,
They,
I don't know what
they
to help
don't
you with
want
then.
you to know about the allergies.
that's true. Maybe they're hiding them. Maybe they got them locked in a vault somewhere.
I don't understand why I have to suffer for the sins of like pollen and dust.
I don't know, man.
Plant sperm.
I wish like this is one thing I wondered, like, are we okay, 2 things I wondered, I guess. Like, how evolutionarily will the human species change in 50 years or 100 years?
Okay, 50 and 100 years is
That's
like
eight.
literally
It
nothing.
won't.
It won't. You gotta
Okay,
go like
maybe
thousands.
1,000 years. 1,000 years.
Isn't 1,000 years still a very short time?
Yeah, it's got to be like 10, 20,000 years for stuff.
Have you
to really
guys
take effect.
read Time Machine by H.G. Wells?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I started thinking about it, just like what is the time span in which humans will change evolutionarily, and also like or have we got to the point where like we're not going to change just because culturally we're not like motivating evolutionary changes, and like, or like we've made up for any evolutionary disadvantages just because of science.
Yeah, I don't know, because usually like evolution is dictated by natural selection and stuff, but that doesn't really affect humans in the way it affects
No.
other animals.
Wally. Like those like fucking like round ass humans in their chairs, that's us.
Yeah, I think that's facts.
Listen, Noah, you don't understand what RFK is doing, okay? He's making us healthy again, so we're not going to end up like that.
Dude, if you're telling me that RFK is making it, like, if somebody's making America healthy, I want them to look healthy. Like, if RFK is telling me what's healthy, I don't trust the man. Like, look at him.
That's funny as hell.
He looks like a fucking takeout bag.
Yeah, you know what?
You guys have
Big
seen that
ups,
video,
Noah.
right? Where
Valid.
he's in the plane with Trump, and they're like they all have McDonald's.
Oh
and
yeah,
Elon's
I've seen that
there.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Because like his
Alright.
face is just like it's just like, wow, oh my god, what have I signed myself up for?
I mean, it's okay. It'll be worth it.
Cobb,
Yes,
you got an obvious fact for me, Cobb?
I do actually.
State something obvious.
I do. This one's especially for you because I know you're a big fan of this person. But undisputedly, one of the greatest players in American football, Tom Brady.
What the fuck?
It's true. It is just true. He's just the GOAT. There's no one else you can even put up there. But he has a either neutral or positive record against every single team in the NFL, which I don't think any other player has.
I mean, at that point, you kind of has to be somewhat for GOAT.
I mean, he also has 7 Super Bowls rings and then played in 10.
I mean, how many of those records would change if the ball was inflated? That's just my only question.
I don't know.
I think a good number of them would. I think a great number of them would change, and then the statistic would be not so obvious.
Just if Tom Brady's not the GOAT, who is?
Michael Jordan.
Me, bro. It's me.
Oh, it's you. Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
goated, man. I'm simply goated.
You see, the only reason why Tom Brady won all those games was because Vissel wasn't there on the field.
That's true. That's true. He won a lot of these Super Bowls when Jit was just a child. He was trying to exclude Jit
He was
from his
dodging the
competition
goat,
pool.
man. Like,
That's
this is
true.
cowardly behavior.
And then he retired just before I got into the game, like because he knew what was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like that's why he bowed out.
He was ducking it.
There's no worthy opponent for me to enter this domain.
No. You know what happened is he retired the first time, and then Jit didn't actually enter the NFL, so that's why he came back, and then was able to win another Super Bowl with Tampa. And then Jit said, "You know what? I'm entering the NFL draft," and then he actually retired for real.
That's it. I'm surprised. That's exactly what happened. Like verbatim. Yeah.
Okay, this is just me, but I think that Florida doesn't have any real sports teams. I think they have
the Buccaneers won a Super Bowl.
I know, but I'm saying they have teams that only exist to like randomly pick up some like famous athlete, and then the famous athlete comes there and like destroys everyone for like a year or two, and then they leave, and then their teams disappear again. They're like ghost
How
kitchens.
long
He's literally just talking about the
How long
Heat.
was LeBron on the Heat?
It was like a good like 4 or 5 years, right?
But they still have a team afterwards, right? Like
I mean, can you
they
prove
still
it?
have someone on the team.
When was the last time you saw the Heat?
Around Texas.
Ooh, the obscure mix-up there, PJ.
Yeah. I don't know. They're kind of a poverty franchise right now. You know what? We will talk about poverty franchises
You are
this
completely
episode.
correct. So, football, they got Tom Brady. Basketball, they got LeBron. Soccer, they pulled up, Messi and Suarez and all those other guys. That's kind of just true. That's where all the rich athletes that want to just coast for a little bit but not actually retire, they end up going to a Florida team.
Yeah, Florida is just a retirement home for famous athletes.
And for a lot of other people.
Yeah, for America. Florida is America's retirement home.
And for the country.
I would not mind retiring in Florida. Seems kind of nice.
I would mind. I would 100% mind that shit.
I mean, if you're that rich, I don't care. If you're if you have enough money to retire there, I think that's fine. I'm not going out. I'm just staying in my house. Does it really matter where I live?
I mean, it's going to be like fucking
Yeah, I guess you just want nice
underwater.
weather. It is going to be underwater. That is also true. Maybe Cobb likes that.
Yeah,
Maybe Cobb is like Namor secretly.
true.
True. All right, Brene.
Yes.
I bought you some time to come up with something. Hopefully you.
I've had one for a while, actually.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
the prepared Brene. All right, say something
you guys
obvious.
you guys have YouTube on your phone?
Yeah.
We do.
Okay, so
My homepage
There's a-
set to
I
stating
never-
the obvious. You guys should check it out.
huh?
My homepage stating the obvious. YouTube channel. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. This became obvious to me. I realized I was subconsciously doing it a lot. But have you ever guys watched a short and then clicked on the YouTube video that's linked in the bottom?
Yeah, I think I've done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I've realized this works every single time. If you get an ad on a YouTube video, right? And then you minimize the video and play a short, and then you go back to the YouTube video, it bypasses the ad. The ad stops playing and you get to the video.
Or you just install ad blocker.
Yeah, but I don't have ad blocker on my phone, but and I don't know. I just never found a good one. But that's what this interesting hack that I did. That I don't know if they are aware of this bug, but you can bypass all ads on your phone without ad blocker.
You know what? I like this obvious fact, PJ. This is a very practical and useful obvious fact for our listeners.
It's not super obvious, but it's a good
It's
fact.
practical.
No, it is. If you ever click on a video from a YouTube short and then you just minimize the video right after, your ad just stops playing.
I guess the short is the ad in that.
Yeah,
in that
I guess
sense.
so.
You got to find a nice
I don't
short.
know. And even also in other streaming apps, if you don't want to, a lot of them play ads, even though if you have a subscription, if you just download the video, you don't need to watch the ads.
Watch all of this get patched after this episode comes out.
Right.
YouTube just goes and fixes it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do not do that. But also YouTube, because YouTube is becoming very sophisticated with their ad blocking shit.
Oh yeah.
It's-
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Rest
the
in
one.
peace.
That's why my ad blockers are not working on YouTube anymore.
But the ad blockers are like every time YouTube releases an update where it stops the ad blocker from working, where it just like turns the video black or something like that, then the ad blockers come out with an update that kind of like bypasses it. So it's a back and forth. I feel like the ad blockers are also getting more sophisticated.
Let's see. Maybe I should go back into the ad blocking space. I have not had a reliable one in a while, other than one that I use for like anime websites.
Who's the weeb now?
Pranay has an ad blocker. You open up dimensions in random conversations. There's a big difference there.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
but he
gotta let
doesn't
it
just
go.
start like
At
bringing
some
out the
point, you
Japanese.
just
He does have a point.
Orewa. sorry. Pranay does that too. Okay, just only with me.
That's true.
Dude, I was reading like a fucking philosophy paper yesterday, and like the guy just like kept using the word egoist, and like I couldn't read it without hearing you guys saying your stupid blue lock shit. Just like egoista.
Oh, God. That's amazing.
You should have seen. No, okay, so we'll just go to the next thing. I visited Pranay recently, and by visit Pranay, I just mean I toured like the entire United States basically. Before I started working full time. And so my first visit was to Pranay in New York City. And so this was like a month long, basically, travel excursion that started in New York for like around a week. So I landed in, did I come to JFK or LaGuardia, Pranay? I don't even remember.
LaGuardia.
LaGuardia, yes. And then I just came to Pranay's. He was working from home. He picked me up from his front door.
Yes.
And and then we what did we do? I mean we did
First day we
quite
didn't
the number
really
of
do
things,
much.
but
I don't think.
first day, yeah, we just chilled, got food. Later we did stuff. Later we just did all the New York things.
Did you do Statue of Liberty?
I did. I took the shuttle, the ferry. I took the ferry from what is it? What's that ferry called? The one at that when you
Staten
took the
Island?
end of the line. Yeah, the Staten Island ferry. Dude, taking the subway all the way there. I sat on that for like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, honestly. I waited forever to get to get to that stop, but I literally just like solo traveled.
This is so interesting, right? Like in New York, when I think commuting times, I'm like, oh, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, that's like normal. But like imagine the distance you can travel in Dallas in 45 minutes.
You could literally get like across the Metroplex.
It depends. But yeah, during the weekend we did a bunch of stuff. We went to the only Michelin star Indian restaurant in New York.
Currently, yeah.
Currently, yes. It's called Semma. It was pretty gas.
It was nice. I like watching a lot of videos, like Eater and Bon Appetit videos of all these restaurants beforehand, and I saw one of the waiters was from one of the videos I saw.
Did you tell him that?
I also watched this video. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And he was very happy, actually, interestingly enough. Apparently he got a promotion, so it was like...
He used to work in the kitchen, and now he's like a waiter, so I'm sure he makes a lot more money being a waiter, because the way it works is when you make the reservation, however many people you have, it's that many people times 50, and that's how much money you have to put down at the start. So there were 4 of us that went, so Anushka ended up putting down 200.
Wait,
it's like 50
you
per head.
prepay for this restaurant?
You have to prepay.
Yeah, I have to prepay.
And then when you go there, you order things, and however much you order has to come up to like the $200 that you've already paid.
Yeah, they want to refund you.
And then if it goes over that 200, then you just pay whatever that extra amount is. But you already paid the 200 to start with. And so I don't know. I feel like we all were just like, when we got the bill, we were like, oh, it's nothing. Nice.
Yeah, when we got the bill, we're like, oh, this is nothing compared. It's like they already like move your benchmark of your baseline expectation to like 200 basically.
So it's just the bill minus 200. So we're like, like only $17. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
very
good.
nice.
Like,
That's
nice.
crazy.
Yeah, very good.
Mentally, it was like,
Mentally, I made the experience nicer. I will
yeah, it
say.
really did.
Because you're
really
not
did.
as stressed.
No, I'm pretty sure you're stressed when you're making the reservation, though.
But it's like no, but the reservation is like the adrenaline because it's really hard to get reservations.
Yeah,
so
you have
like,
to log
you
on,
have
like,
to be
spawn on the
in
dot
that first
9.
like couple minutes, right? It's not even like, oh my god, should I do this? Should I not? It's like I have to do this now before I lose the spot. So I think a lot of like restaurants should do that. This prepaid thing, not for $50 per person. I mean that's a little outrageous, but it was a cool experience.
Yeah, it's interesting. And there's a decent amount of places that actually do it, but they don't do like 50, but they do like in the sense of like if you skip your reservation, then you're gonna get booked. Like then they're gonna just keep the money that you put on. I mean that's essentially why they do it. But we went to that. There's an ice cream place that we love called Cafe Pana.
Yeah, that place insane.
The best ice cream place that I've been to so far. And that's the only ice cream place I go to in New York, actually. But we got a hot chocolate there. It was super cold when Jith came, too, at some points in the time.
Oh yeah.
Hella cold. But we still got ice cream.
Okay.
and
We did not care.
yeah, we did not care. The ice cream is good, man. It's different. And then we also went into Brooklyn to that one Brooklyn that bridge shot.
Yeah. We went to the Brooklyn Bridge. We went to Dumbo. It's called Dumbo. It's like 2 buildings, each to your left and right, and then the Brooklyn Bridge. It's like a pretty iconic New York spot. So everyone gets a picture there. I wanted my picture there, so we went. We did quite the number of things, and then Pranay had to start working again on Monday. For me, so I just started solo going places.
Oh, we went to comedy show. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, what the hell?
Oh my goodness!
We went to pizza and comedy show. All that, yeah, the pizza and the comedy show too.
Who was at the comedy show?
That's
Who
actually
was
crazy.
The comedians.
So basically part of the reason why we went that day is because Comedy Cellar's, the place we went to, is one of the most in New York, especially. Popular. It's a very famous like stand-up place.
It's very famous in general. Like on the internet, you'll see like Comedy Cellar. Like it's very well known.
Like a lot of people get their names made there, I think. And so they have a lot of like famous people that come. But they don't show that the famous person is coming as to not like drive up, I don't know, crazy attention or something and make the place overrun. So they put like fake profiles and stuff of people who is on the cast for that night, but it's a fake identity. So we saw one guy that was very clearly a fake identity, and so we're like, okay, we need to go this time. So we ended up. Did you know Judd Apatow, Gob?
I've heard the name before, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a familiar name. You've definitely heard of it. Like when I first heard it, I was like, okay, I definitely have heard this, but I'm not exactly sure.
I thought he was like movie person, not a comedian.
He makes movies.
Yeah, he's a director, writer, but he does like comedy movies.
Oh, okay.
Like the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh,
with
yeah,
Steve Carell.
Yeah,
he did that. And
there's another one that's a really good comedy actually with Seth Rogen, and he's like he has a child with this like really good looking girl who's a newscaster. And, like,
MPJ, you're describing this movie horribly. I don't know.
It's not a movie, okay? It doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he has some comedy movies that have done very well.
Okay.
But I don't think he has like an incredible number of things.
Oh, was he performing? Or was he just there?
Yeah,
so he showed up. Yeah, he showed up, which was cool.
He was the famous guy.
Yeah, and honestly, like he did good, but I think he was just like trying out some new material. I feel like it wasn't as funny as stuff I'd seen of him online. There were a few other comedians there who were local.
Hilarious.
Local. So fucking funny, man. Like they were so funny. I have no idea. Like I wish I remembered their names. I wrote it down or something.
Yeah, actually, to see them later on.
Yeah, like follow their career, but some of them were just hilarious, dude. Like,
there's one black guy. There's one young black guy. Man, he was talking about like this one trip he took with a white like rural friend of his. And they went deer hunting and stuff. That guy was hilarious.
Yeah, Pranay and Ushka and I were just geeked the whole time. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was a good time.
Man, L'Industrie Pizza is a pizza place we went to before. It's
Yes.
one of the best pizza places in New York.
And it was phenomenal. Lived up to the hype for sure. And that was all on the first day of me arriving, actually. I think that was all on Friday.
Oh, yeah, that was the first day, yeah.
Yeah, I came in on Friday and then we wrapped up work and then, yeah, I think, I don't remember Saturday or Sunday. Remember today I ended up playing League with everyone.
Yeah, I remember that.
And,
Yeah.
and then every day we would also like watch some like Blue Lock
Oh,
or like
of
Solo
course,
Leveling
yeah.
or some anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, during the following week, I just went and kind of explored. I went to like the New York Public Library. I just went around New York. Went to Brooklyn again. I vlogged a lot of it. So I got a vlogging camera, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3.
Oh, yeah, when are you going to put those things up?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to upload them, but I've started editing them. So it's fun. I mean, I like looking through the footage and like reminiscing, remembering. I think it's a good way to just remember your vacations and
Yeah.
like a nice little memoir, I guess, in that sense. But after New York, I mean, spent some time there and eventually I left. I think like, I don't remember exactly when I left. Yeah, maybe Thursday. Yeah, I think it was Thursday. And then I headed to Atlanta because my friend was like DJing at some club or something. And I was only literally supposed to go just for one night and then leave the next day. Okay. So I went on like Thursday, went to, you know, his DJ set. It was good. Like he killed it. And apparently like we knew there was like some winter forecast warning, but overnight it snowed like 7 inches, something ridiculous, like 5 inches, 7 inches. And so Atlanta basically was shut down. I looked at like normally an Uber from Midtown to ATL, like the airport, is $20, max like 30. That morning of my flight, it was like $100.
Okay, crazy.
And so I just took the MARTA and like the train because the train was still running. So I like dragged my suitcase all the way through the snow, the ice, got to the MARTA station, and then took the train. And then, oh my goodness, so like this airport's just in just shambles because they don't know how to deal with snow. Atlanta doesn't get snow like this. They somehow my flight had like the previous night had gotten canceled. Like, actually, no, not the previous night. My flight, I had picked one flight because my previous flight had gotten canceled. So the flight that I was taking them like train to go to, it showed that it was gonna take off, and I had faith. And so I go there, I get on the plane, like, you know, we're heading to like the de-icing station to get the plane de-iced, and it looks like we're actually gonna take off. Like everyone's boarded this plane. It's looking good. And we're at the de-icing station. And apparently the plane in front of us used too much of the de-icing fluid, so they ran out.
I see. Okay.
I was like, what the fuck? Okay, so I didn't understand how this even happens, but they're like, we sent a truck to go get more de-icing fluid. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so they used whatever remaining de-icing fluid that they had. Like, I guess like they had some left over there, so they didn't actually run out. But then they de-iced half our plane. And then the other half was still icy. So they were like, we need more. So the trucks were going. And then when they got to the de-icing station, wherever that is, with all the fluid, no one was working there. So they weren't able to get any of the de-icing fluid. Keep in mind, at this point, like we had been sitting on this plane for a while. It had been almost like 2 hours. I think they're nearing 3 hours. And legally, they're not allowed to keep you on the plane, on the tarmac for like more than some X amount of time. They have to give you the option to deplane. So we had to lose our place in line at the de-icing station because there's a line. There's a line of planes waiting to get de-iced. And we lost our spot in line, came back because they legally had to. Some people like deplaned and then replaned. And then eventually we all just had to deplane because they were like, yeah, the line's too long now. And we don't have any de-icing fluid. And so then I had to crash my friends another night. And then I couldn't get dinner anywhere because pretty much every restaurant was closed because of the ice, except this one like Thai restaurant. So thank fuck for that. But then next morning, I get into Atlanta Airport. Dude, the Atlanta Airport like entry place is not super big. The TSA pre-check line Like we will post a clip or something of the video that I took on the STO Insta, but it filled out the entire airport. This is the pre-check line with clear whatever you have, like the longest line I've ever seen.
It's also the busiest airport in the world, right?
Yeah, it's because it's so poorly fucking managed, dude. They're like, oh, we're the busiest airport in the world. It's so cool. We have so much like, connections. So shut the fuck up. You guys are terrible at managing airports. Like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. By some miracle, like, the flight that I had that was going to Chicago. Okay, my next destination was Chicago on this trip. Like, it looked like I wasn't gonna make it. I was in the line. Like, I made good progress. And it seemed as though I was not going to make it. And then somehow they opened another security checkpoint directly to my left, like 5 minutes before my flight was going to start boarding. And so I just hopped in that and then somehow made it through security and got to my gate. And then eventually made it to Chicago. But holy shit, like, I will never forgive Atlanta for that. That was ridiculous.
But they have the Coke Museum, Jet, so you have to forgive them.
The Coke Museum was like so unbelievably mid. They have a room at the very end where you can try all the different Coke flavors from all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's not just Coke. It's like they have so many different brands, right? So you try all of them. Some of them taste like literal like cat piss.
Really?
I don't know what they're giving like these people in some of these countries, but it just tastes like literal piss. Like some of them taste good. Okay, there's some of the like Chinese Cokes or like random countries like you wouldn't expect, like Malaysian Sprite or something that tastes good, but some of them definitely taste like really bad. Anyways, that was my journey, at least for that part. I went to Chicago, saw some of my UAC friends there, and then I went to California, saw my sister, saw some friends there too. And then I got the flu in California, so then my trip was cut short and I headed home after. But I was supposed to go to Phoenix. And that's the TLDR.
Sounds like a very good trip overall.
It was a trip. I vlogged all of it, so at least there's that.
Was this the first trip that you vlogged?
Yeah, I mean, I got the vlogging camera like right before the trip. It was my birthday present in like December. So
I see.
It was exciting. I just didn't know how to like vlog or like edit footage or like how I needed to like accumulate the footage correctly, if that made sense.
Did you ever feel like awkward like pulling out the camera in public?
You know what? At first I was kind of like nervous about it, and then I just realized nobody gives a shit. And something else I realized, I saw this piece of advice, it's just like nobody knows how many followers you have. Like imagine like you could have 2 million followers and you can be pulling out a camera, or you could have like 2 followers and be pulling out a camera, and like anyone who's watching does not know that number.
Did anybody ask you what's your following or what your handle is or whatever?
No, I don't think so. That didn't happen. It's just, I guess in New York especially, it's like
I feel like New York it might be like way more of a common thing.
Literally nobody cares about you. But that's fine. Like you just mind your own business. I think that's good. And after a while, like you kind of just get used to it. Like I remember I vlogged Pranay gave me his New York NYU like student ID. So I can get into the MoMA, or was that for the Met? I don't remember, Pranay.
Either one. I think you can claim like for the Met, you can claim I'm a resident and.
Yeah. So I went to the MoMA, showed them the ID. It's just Pranay's face on it. And they just looked at me and they're like, yeah, go. I don't think they cared. And same for the Met, but it was chill. It was a good time. I just yapped for like, I don't think I've ever yapped on an episode of this podcast for that long.
Oh, you have. Believe me. You have.
God. Have I really?
Oh, yeah.
There's no way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've told a story like
Just
that
you
like,
have,
on this podcast.
I have edited all of the episodes.
When did I do this?
Literally last...
Not continuously like that.
Yeah, literally last episode, you told the story of like your Muay Thai instructor or whatever, who was like the ex-con.
Okay, I did tell that story, but it wasn't as long as this.
It was.
God.
Jit, I edit all of the episodes.
He does.
I can't refute
Okay,
this.
either way, I did want to ask you guys, what is the best pizza you have had?
Well, I feel like you have an answer to this given that you've asked the question, so.
Yeah, I mean, mine is between one place that was not able to go to called Lucali and another in Lindustry Pizza Kitchen. Both are phenomenal, man. It's
Yeah, it's so good. I also had Joe's Pizza. I didn't get it with Pernay, but I tried a slice. It was pretty gas too. Like, I don't know. I think for a traditional cheese slice, initially I got a cheese slice. And I got like the slice with like mozzarella and basil and stuff. Like their mozzarella basil slice at Lindustry was definitely like
yeah, they're good
phenomenal.
they're known for like their different like being really good at those different other flavors that they do.
I think the cheese pizza I had at Joe's was like better than the Industry, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been to Joe's in a long time, so I would not
It was
know,
just very
but,
crisp and it was like it was good. It was just good.
yeah, but what I've told Jit is Lucali's for if you want a classic New York, just like a plain cheese, or even just like minimal toppings, Lucali's is the place. But the issue is just it's so difficult to get to because it's like deep into Brooklyn, and the only way you can't reserve online, and you have to reserve in person, which means you have to go deep into Brooklyn at like 3-4 or something to get ahead of the line, and then you need to be like, oh, okay, I want a reservation for like 8 or 6. So then you need to wait a couple of hours by the time between standing in line and then getting the pizza.
Oh, so there's quite a
So
process.
that's a whole hassle. It's a whole hassle, but it's still like the fact that it's still that popular despite that whole hassle is like goes to show how good it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to run that back sometime soon.
Yeah, but what about you, Gob?
You know, honestly, I would say it's not a store bought pizza. There's this one family friend that we have who are Italians, and they make their own pizza. And honestly, I think that is the best pizza I've ever had. I had a meat pizza, like a meat pie pizza kind of thing, and
Yeah.
I think that was probably the best that I've ever had. I've only had it like 2 or 3 times, but yeah,
Nice. Do they have like a pizza oven, or are they just making this in their oven?
they're just making this in their oven.
Nice.
So I'll go with the homemade option.
Okay. Oh wait, Noah.
I'll be honest, I don't remember the best pizza I've ever had. I feel like all the pizza I've had has like been pretty comparable, frankly. I don't notice standout pizzas. I just remember like the worst pizza I've ever had was that one time we went to Chicago and we had like the Chicago deep dish because like Holland took us to this one
God.
restaurant.
That was so bad.
It was just like cold tomato sauce in a bread bowl. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah, it was just really cold.
I want to believe that that's not representative of like Chicago and Chicago deep dish, but like if it is in any way representative, what the fuck is Chicago doing?
No, we went to the most like overrated. I now know this after having been in Illinois, but we went to the most like overrated, just basic like kind of dog place you could have gone to.
Just dog place.
See, like I trusted Holland.
I mean, there's no reason he really should
No.
know that information either, right? He's just also trying to make some decision.
Yeah, but like I mean, like
Also, imagine how stressful that is. You have to take all these like idiot high schoolers to like Chicago and keep them like safe and alive.
like wasn't Holland's whole deal was that like he knew all the good food spots?
I don't think that was his whole job, but
That was like most of it, right? Like what else did he do?
It's okay. Shit. Someone do a transition to the next topic. I'm sick of doing all of them all the time.
well, we can switch it up. There you go, Jit.
That's the worst transition I've ever heard in my life.
What the hell was
That is
that?
literally the worst thing you could have said.
Would you even say we could
God, how
switch
did you-
to something else?
What would that
Okay,
thing
that-
be? 262.
You know, Switch 2, yeah, okay. You know what? I hate this so much. Okay, the Switch 2. Nintendo's coming out with the Switch 2. Oh my god, like it's so terrible. The design is so bad. And that is a summary of what this
Is that
conversation
what the
could be like.
consensus is about this thing?
It's just a bigger Switch. It's like a bigger, more technologically advanced Switch. Like it doesn't seem like there's a lot of improvements.
The Joy-Cons don't slide in.
Yeah, the
That's my only
Joy-Cons,
thing.
but they like snap in, right?
They're like some weird. Yeah, but it's like, it looks grosser, like the mechanism. I think there's a satisfaction in yeah, you know.
But
I'm not-
to be fair, the one thing that I'm really happy about with the Switch 2 is that they fixed Joy-Con drift.
I mean, we don't know
Finally.
if they fixed it until like they come out with it.
Well, apparently they have. I'm pretty sure they have. I've read somewhere, and I hope it's true. But I think it's like very comparable to like the Wii and the Wii U rather than like the Wii U to the Switch. Like it doesn't seem like it's that drastic of a jump as some of the other consoles were.
I'm not gonna even consider it unless they have like a new Smash game to like that you can only play on that. Like, I only use my Switch for Smash.
I don't know if they're gonna make a new Smash. Do you guys know?
I doubt it, honestly. I don't think the game has the base or the momentum anymore.
I mean, it definitely has the base. It
I mean,
definitely
it doesn't
has,
have
they-
momentum
think
because they
it's-
haven't put out a new one.
Yeah, they've been making Smash games since like the 90s. Like there's a base for it.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the pro players and stuff are just kind of getting burnt out, and they don't really care.
Well, since when has pro players ever been the target for Nintendo?
I mean, it's not, but it's also what keeps the game. I feel like that's where you get the most passionate players, and like that's where the player base that's going to spend money is.
Well, not really. Not for Nintendo. I think Nintendo has a very different strategy where they're just
For Smash it is. For other games, yeah, I definitely think overall their general strategy is not catered towards those. But
I mean, if pro players were Nintendo's like focus for Smash, they'd be hosting their own tournaments and like supporting that kind of infrastructure, but they're not.
yeah, I mean Nintendo doesn't care, but it like just functionally think about where the player base is. It just makes sense.
I don't know. I still feel like they would make a lot of money if they sold one, and it would bring a lot of new momentum. Like, do you remember when Smash Ultimate came out? Like how much momentum that boosted it. The momentum's died down because they haven't released one. Not because the
I mean, I
game
will
is like
say,
that.
I feel like they will find it difficult to resist to make a new one.
I mean, how long has it been?
And
Like,
I heard some rumors. I have some rumors about shit. What was his name again? What's his name?
The Nintendo guy, the Asian guy.
Asian guy.
Right.
That's
Sakurai,
literally
the
every
father of Smash.
Starts with the S.
Nintendo.
What's his name?
Sakurai?
Sakurai, yes. Yes. Sakurai. I heard some rumors about how, like, he said he was retired. He, like, did a couple of YouTube videos. He posted a lot on YouTube about, like, video game making process. And now he apparently, there's something about him working on a new game with Nintendo. Nobody knows if it is a new Smash or not, but, like, I mean, it could very well, or maybe they actually have decided it is, figured out that it is something else, but he's in theory back doing something.
The other reason I do think they'll do a Smash game, another one, is because I think I don't know how true this is either, but it's rumored that like Nintendo is trying to make like a Smash movie with all their like IP. Like they have the Nintendo, or the Mario movie, Sonic's, like Detective Pikachu. Like they're trying to create a cinematic universe there, which the Smash game would help a lot with, just to drive momentum to that.
How the
and,
fuck do you make a
vice
Super
versa.
Smash Bros. Movie?
But there's a lot of lore in the Smash games if you play like the story, like with Master Hand and stuff.
Yeah, but is it lore that anybody like cares about?
I mean, if they do it right, sure.
Yeah, I mean, none of us. Honestly, I did not even know who Thanos was until they were just like, "Look, it is Thanos."
Yeah, but like, there's a difference
like,
between
oh,
like
shit.
a comic book and like, I don't know, like the campaign of Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, imagine they make a movie and they get Chris Pratt and then they get Jack Black from Minecraft movie, and Chris Pratt is Mario, and then like what other video game character movies are there?
There's like Sonic, this whole Sonic movie,
Sonic. They get Sonic
and
to
then
come
they
in.
did a Pikachu movie with Ryan Reynolds.
I guess they get Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu to come in. That's gonna be crazy.
Like Loki, it would kind of be tough. Honestly,
That's what I'm
Loki would
saying.
kinda be
If
crazy.
that like if that's their goal is to ultimately make that like a Smash game will help with that momentum, and the movie will help with the Smash game sales. So it seems logical if that's their route to release another Smash.
We'll see. We'll see. I guess it'll all come with time. Cobb, hit us with another transition, a fire transition.
I'm just gonna ask PJ these questions because if you guys have watched the previous episodes of Stating the Obvious, which you should, when Trump came into office, PJ was like, I don't know about these tariffs, if it's just something cool that he's talking about or if he's actually going to do it. But recently, these tariffs did go into effect on a lot of different countries. And, as PJ is our resident economist, I kind of wanted to get his take on what these tariffs would do, if they're good, if they're bad, and just kind of what he thinks about them.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the econ angle, there's like the public policy angle, like the international policy angle. Like the econ angle, I think there's very little, like the strict econ level, I think there's very little disagreement in terms of like the direct effect is there will be inflation. You talk literally to the producers, they know it is literally just directly. They get hit more import costs, they raise the cost of their prices. Very simple. And I mean, there's also the argument that the administration likes to make is, like that may be the case in the short term, but like I don't even think they use the verbiage of short term versus long term, but they just say, oh, this forces people to, produce in the country. And like, there's like two strains. Like, on one hand, like, there's a reason why people are producing outside of the country and shipping it. Like, nobody's just doing it for fun. They're doing it because it's cheaper, and it takes a lot of time and energy and effort to do it in the US. And I would like to think that if they were given the choice between, equal choices of, like, companies were given equal choices between producing in the US, not facing shipping costs, versus producing in China and facing shipping costs, it would seem like a very simple thing. And I think the argument the administration likes to make is more along the lines of people don't realize that you can make it for cheap here and you can put in the time and investment. But I think this is just a very qualitative thing. There's no one like coming out with a very quantitative argument that it's going to cost like this much to put the time and the investment, and like in the long term we'll like recoup the costs in like 10 years or so. Something like that. So it's hard. It's hard to give credence in my mind to those arguments if you just qualitatively just say, in the long term, things will come to the US, it will be cheaper, and it's in the US, so it's better all around, versus like very clearly, price will increase for a long time. Who knows how long? They do not say. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is just like you use tariffs as a tool for negotiating. Which I don't know. I like in my mind originally, like I don't like my first instinctive thought against that is like I don't think it's a completely bad idea. It just depends on how like my perception of how like or their perception of how reactive other countries would actually be. I read some Wall Street Journal thing the other day about how like China doesn't have that much of a hand anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in general, I would inherently dislike the idea of trade wars. Just like in terms of the economy, it just has repercussions, right? But like, if it does lead to something that's where the end result is more free trade, then like, I don't know, by all means. But that is something that I think is harder to say because like the responses so far, I guess. There's I think it's very difficult. Like the Trump administration says like, oh, the response has been phenomenal. Like Mexico's coming to the table and they're saying, oh, we're going to help. Where other countries like Canada are not coming to the table, but we've had like productive talks and then there's like some articles I see where people are like, China has no cards left to hold, so they have to come to the table to talk. Whereas other articles I read are just like, China can do this for ages and they're just going to keep on ramping up and they don't give a shit. So I truly don't know what to believe, to be honest, on that end until like maybe somehow I myself look at some pieces of data to see like what kind of cards they actually do have, what they are importing and exporting and whatnot.
I'm skeptical of that whole like bargaining idea.
Yeah, I mean my initial onset is like, I feel like when I first heard the idea as a bargaining, I'm like, if it works, it could be good. But like in my head, I don't think like these countries like China are very cooperative to make it work. Like they're just very stubborn. And it doesn't work either way.
It requires like other countries to see tariffs as a credible threat. And like Trump just implemented these like tariffs. And if they torpedo his approval rating, like they might, because people don't like inflation and like it might just cause real inflation that causes people to like hate Trump, then like it's not a credible like threat in the future, right? Like China's just going to look at that and be like, you're not going to tariff us because like you're already super unpopular. You're just going to tank your approval ratings even more. Like, there's no way that you'd be willing to like go into like a real deal trade war with us.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because I feel like a lot of times, like presidents' economic policies, they don't have really repercussions until later into the term or into the next term. But this one is a very direct. Like it's going to, the instant the tariff like law just gets passed, the instant they have to pay the cost, that's the instant it will get transferred, in like to the consumer. So it seems like very direct. I don't know like how much control he would have over his base. But I guess like China has to weigh how much they think how much control Trump thinks that he has over his base versus what he doesn't.
So I guess in the short term, for sure, costs go up, inflation go up, but long-term effects in regards to like negotiations and like if people actually move back to the U.S. and kind of things like that is a little bit just
even
uncertain.
If they move back to the U.S., like I still don't buy the thing that I think it'll still be higher in the like simply put, like I don't think the U.S. maybe we do have some industry, like our economy should have like some sort of like industry or manufacturing, like yes for sure, but like I think in the long term it's not really the most productive thing.
It's like, what's the point, right? Like they say they want to bring back factory jobs to like these towns in like the Rust Belt that like had good factory jobs, but like they left for a reason, right? Like if they come back, we're not going to have those like those super well paid like factory jobs anymore because like one, the reason why we had those in the first place was because of unions and like a long history of like labor like activism and struggle, and like unions are just like dead at this point, right? Like they've had the knees cut out from under them. So like if they come back, they're not going to be like good jobs. They're going to be like shitty like $15 an hour gigs, right? And
yeah, I think like a lot of cities just have to, that used to be big manufacturing cities, they have to follow the model of like Pittsburgh or something, where they have very much transitioned into like what I think pretty successfully into healthcare and tech basically now.
Yeah, like there are no good paying factory jobs anymore. They don't exist in America, and they're not going to exist because if it really is something where like, you know, people like can like activate like agitate for like $30 an hour like union jobs, like the company's just going to fire them and they replace them with like automation. Like there is no like future for that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I feel like there's a reason they moved overseas. It's cheaper that way. Find some other way to get jobs into the U.S.
Like in terms of the bargaining chip, like, do I think there's going to be some like the more, I guess we will figure out more and more people come, like more countries respond, but do I think there's going to be some sort of a meaningful change in trade policy? I don't know. I think a lot of the countries are going to be very stubborn. It'll take a lot of pain, and I think for sure there will be some changes, and the administration will like be very like popularize those changes a lot, and I don't know. At the end, we could see what the cross benefit, like it wasn't worth it in the end. But I think for sure there will probably be some changes in some form.
So it's just like long term, whether this is beneficial or not is still uncertain, I guess is what you're saying.
Like, well, yeah, whether it's worth to go through all the pain now for whatever changes may happen in the future. But I think it'll be. I don't think the administration will pull out without achieving nothing, because then they don't have like anything to point to say like, oh, look at this, it was worth.
Yeah, so something's got to happen.
Yeah, I feel like they're just going to continue it until they get something that they can just tout as like OP.
Yeah, and I guess this is not the only major kind of news coming out of the administration, and this is where I will pivot to Noah, because recently Trump had a meeting with the leader of Ukraine that kind of went a bit south, and I kind of wanted to get Noah's take on this.
South is one word.
Shit's fucked, dude. It's so over. I mean, Look, I think there's an argument that like maybe this is all some like master plan to like try and get like the Europeans and like Ukraine to shoulder more of the defense burden. But I don't think so. I think from the way like Trump and his team is talking, like I think they've just like fully bought into this like idea that like Russia should control Ukraine actually, and like Ukraine's just being a little bitch about it. Uh, and I don't I don't know. I think people are expecting like Trump and Ukraine to like work it out somehow. I think there's a very good chance that that doesn't happen.
What happens then? Just Russia wins, I guess.
It depends on if the Europeans are willing to come to the rescue. Like, I mean, the Trump side does have a point, right? Like the Europeans have allowed their militaries to like atrophy for like 30 years at this point. Like they basically barely have a military. The only country in Europe that still has like a functioning military is probably France, because France, like, you know, after World War II, they weren't going to let that shit happen again, right? But like Germany, the UK, like these countries, like if they got serious about it, if they like pooled their resources and like got like really serious about it, they could 100% outmatch Russia. 100%. The question is, will they? Because it's not like one like government making the decisions, right? You've got like 30 something countries like with all their like different governments and budgets and like all these like negotiations over like what they do, like what they buy, like how much are they going to spend on their militaries, and like it's very possible that like this just ends up going nowhere, right? Like nobody does anything, and in that case, uh, it's not looking good for Ukraine. Now, I mean, I think Russia still is not going to win in the sense that Putin, I think, wants and like envisions. I don't think there's going to be some sort of like Russian blitzkrieg that rolls into Kyiv and like takes Ukraine in like 3 days like he wanted to like 3 years ago. Uh, but I think Ukraine like is losing ground now. If they don't get more help, they will continue losing ground. And at some point, they will be forced to come to the peace table, and likely will be forced to concede like Russian like territorial gains in the east, at least. Uh, Depending on how badly things go, like Ukraine very well might just decide that like we stabbed them in the back because we did stab them in the back. And if that's the case, they might just decide like, you know, fuck the West, you know, fuck Europe, fuck the US. I'm not saying that they're going to align with Russia, but like, you know, things could get pretty ugly. Like there's a lot of trauma wrapped up in that country right now because they've been at war for 3 years for what?
Yeah, but even if they write off the US, would they really just write off Europe too?
I don't know. It's like you look at the roots of things like fascism, and like a lot of it is like rooted in feelings of just like betrayal, and like, you know, the whole like stabbed in the back idea is like a very powerful one. Like the countries like that fell to fascism, like Germany, Italy, Japan to a certain extent, it all happened like right after they fought this like enormous world war, right? And in the case of Germany, they lost. And in the case of Italy and Japan, it was like even though they won, they spent like, you know, a bunch of lives for very little gain, right? Like Italy like lost like thousands and thousands of men for like basically nothing, and that created like a huge sense of resentment in that country. And so like I'm not saying that Ukraine's going to go fascist, but like you're going to have a lot of people that feel very like rightfully angry and might see like the Western model, like this like liberal democratic model, as like the people who stabbed them in the back.
I've never heard this take before, but it sounds like it has happened before.
It definitely has. Definitely has. I mean, I think the reason why people aren't talking about it is because like people don't want to talk about it. Like Russia justified their whole invasion by saying that Ukraine's run by Nazis. So saying that Ukraine might end up going fascist is like it's playing into a Russian talking point, which is like false, right? Like Ukraine was a democratic country before Russia invaded. My worry is that they might not continue being one, possibly. Because if you want Ukraine to be democratic, you have to show them that like democracy works, right? And we're not doing a very good job of that. But yeah, I mean, look, I think that Trump is a dumbass. And I mean, some people have been saying that he's like a Russian agent. I don't think it's that deep. I think he's just a fucking idiot.
That's wild.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, look, like he's basically just like decided to like completely concede to Russia, just like give them everything they want. Which, you know, if we're talking about deals and leverage, is not how you make good deals. But I think
Listen, no, he wrote The Art of the Deal. Okay, you don't have to lecture.
Did
on
he? Like, I'm
how
pretty
he
sure
did
like
it.
that was a ghostwriter, right? Like, did he actually write The Art of the Deal?
Whose name is on the book, Noah? That's who wrote it.
I mean, like, whose name is on Drake's songs? Like,
Drake, because he wrote them.
right. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty pessimistic about the situation.
Okay, but being a Russian agent, that's a little bit too. I don't know. I don't know
I mean,
about that.
I don't think like Trump's like a legitimate like Russian sleeper agent. I think he does like Russia though. Like legitimately, I think that like he likes.
Yeah, I heard this thing, but he just like learned he likes strong men.
Yeah,
He respects
yeah,
them.
no, because like they're like that's what he wants, right? Like he wants the U.S. to be more like Russia. He wants like to be more like Putin, I think. And
No. You guys got it all wrong. You remember that scene in Captain America Civil War where Baron Zemo's just like reading off the sleeper words to Bucky and he's just like beating up the glass. He's just like trying to get out of the cage. That's actually what the phone calls with
Oh,
Putin
yeah.
and Trump are like. Putin's just like whispering these words and Trump is just like.
He's like projects it, or
Yeah.
like he says it in
Yeah,
Russian
Trump
or
is just like
whatever.
waking up. He's just like activating his power. That's actually what's going on. You just don't know it. No.
yeah, no, that would be honestly like if that happened, I wouldn't even be upset or surprised that like our president is like a Russian sleeper agent. It would make a lot more sense, I think, in that case.
I enjoy the memes of like fat JD Vance without like his beard or whatever, because I can never tell what's actually real and what's not. Like you guys have seen these memes, right?
What?
Like they'll just put like random pictures of JD, like they'll take pictures of JD Vance at like, you know, all these different conferences or speaking events or whatever, and they'll just like
Yeah.
increase the saturation to like 1,000,000% and just like take off the beard and like add some like omega chubby cheeks to him. But you can never tell what's real or not because it almost looks real enough where that could be him, but you're not quite sure. And I enjoy those memes quite a bit.
JD Vance has like a weird ass face. Like it doesn't look right.
You should tell him no.
I mean, I would.
Send him an
I'll
email.
send him an email. Just
Can't you send you can send them mail, right?
Yeah, I think you can, but I'm not sure if they'd ever actually like look at it. But
Yeah,
we've
just-
said this a million times on the podcast, but Noah should be the president, straight up. Like I feel like Noah would do a good job.
dude, I don't know. At the rate we're going, I'm not sure if there's gonna be a presidency.
Listen, Noah, if there's a presidency and you run,
You remember what I said in that movie Civil War? Noah, I had an obvious fact about how Nick Offerman was the president. Noah looks like Nick Offerman, the Asian Nick Offerman.
he also acts like him.
He acts like him, and that was the world in which there was no next presidency, or at least he was. Maybe Noah is the harbinger of the
Isn't that a bad thing?
The harbinger.
U.S. evolution.
The harbinger.
Isn't that bad? Like, it wasn't like Nick Offerman like the bad guy in that movie or some shit?
Yeah, he was. Well, it was like it was ambiguous who the bad guy, good guy was. Like both could have been bad guys. But like he was like a person. At least when he died, he did die in the movie. Unfortunately for you.
So let me get this straight.
Um,
Like, you want me to be president, despite the fact that like you compare me to a movie president who started the Civil War and then died.
died at the end. Yeah, yeah. That's my hope and desire.
All right, fuck you guys.
That sums it
I'm-
up.
No,
Why am I
no.
even here?
No.
No, I don't want you to die, but I want you to be president.
That sounds like a horrible job. I'll be honest.
You're the only one who can lift this burden from us, Noah.
You know how crazy it is that like the last president we had that like could string two sentences together was Obama. Like we had like one Trump term, one Biden term where he was like a foot in the grave the whole time basically. And then another Trump term.
I really wonder what the post Trump world like elections look like.
We don't have any elections probably.
No, the one thing I will say about your presidency is great leaders don't ask for it; they're called to it and they answer.
That is true. And no, look, you already got like 3 cabinet picks right here.
3 cabinet picks.
I would like to see the world where somehow America is willing to let one Asian guy and like his 3 brown friends run the like US federal government.
Wait, okay, no. Who like
There are
from-
already plenty
Each
of
of
brown
us.
guys.
Yeah, I mean,
The cabinet.
I've seen Doge.
Yeah, there's brown guys.
There's Cash.
But for each of us, Noah, what role are you giving us in the cabinet?
Okay.
I'm
Pranay-
curious. What do you think is like?
Like obviously like Secretary of the Treasury, right? Like you gotta.
Yeah, I feel like that one's
Tom,
pretty.
like
good.
Yeah.
health and human services. Viswa press secretary.
You know what?
Honestly, I think Jit could
I'll
do a
take
good
it.
job with that.
I think Noah will need us.
Yeah, I mean like I feel like
No
Viswa
one
like
needed.
I mean like it was that or it was like State Department. I don't know if I like the idea of like Viswa like forming my foreign policy.
I don't know if I like that idea either.
It would be
if I'm being
like
honest.
foreign aid, bad.
That's the only
I mean,
policy
USAID
he's
is gone.
got.
Like,
That's the only
Didn't you hear
policy.
like no more foreign aid?
Just in this chair, he's just like, yes, finally.
They've listened to
Nah,
my argument.
these are heavenly
They
words you're
understand.
speaking to me.
Dude, like USAID and like US foreign aid was the only thing keeping Africa down. Like give it like 2 years and it's gonna look like Wakanda down there.
Actually,
Is that a good thing?
yes.
That was the whole point of the foreign aid turn.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think you made some good calls.
I mean,
Press secretary actually seems like interesting.
yeah, I mean, like I feel like you would make some good like TikTok shorts where like it's like the kind where it's just like a one-line zinger, like some like
Yeah,
reporter
Jit is
asks a
good at those.
question
Jit
and
is
like
good at
I'll just do stand up
just like
comedy every
fuck
time.
you or like eat shit brother or some shit. I don't know.
The press secretary is the same person
Eat
who's
shit,
talking,
brother.
who like talks every day, like daily to that room.
What?
That's not like a different individual.
I'm pretty sure that's the press secretary.
So that white lady now, like that white lady who is like roast Biden all the time. She's the press secretary.
Yeah. That's a job that like I want Viswa for.
This seems like a nice job, actually. I like this job.
I'm not sure where I would put Puck if I had to put him in a cabinet.
What are the other roles?
I mean, there's a few like I don't know. There's like Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, like Agriculture, like Secretary of the Interior, Homeland Security. I mean, I feel like if I made Puck like Secretary of like Defense or something, he would like viscerally hate that, and that might be funny. I might be entertained by that.
When you go into the Senate hearing, you're just like, why did you choose this
Hey,
guy?
why can't I
Just
do
like,
agriculture?
I thought it
now?
could be funny.
I think I do a good job with agriculture.
You think?
Sorry, I'm just yapping. Yeah, vegetarian, Noah.
That's true.
Vegetarian is
Jit
Oh,
has a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
experience
yeah.
with agriculture.
He has a lot of veggies. He knows about veggies.
I do. I feel like I could do Honorable job. Yeah, who is your running mate, Noah? Actually, if you had to pick a running mate out of the three of us.
Cobb's name is Jacob. That's Christian.
Yeah, but I feel like it's got to be PJ, right?
Actually, it might have to be Cobb, actually.
I don't.
Cobb is
Get the
Christian.
Christian appeal.
Yeah, Cobb
yes.
is Christian. I don't think it's gonna get any evangelicals to vote for me.
Yeah, you might just be griefing if you pick me or Brene.
I need a white guy.
Imagine our names as well.
At minimum,
right?
I need a white guy. Like it's necessary, right? Like you can't. Like Obama had Biden. Like you can't win without a white guy.
What about Indian lady?
Indian lady loses 100% of the time. I'm sorry.
But she won.
Empirically.
But
No.
who? Trying to tell me that JD Vance is an Indian lady?
No. What? Kamala Harris.
Oh shit! I forgot about that election. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry, but they also had a white dude. They had a white dude as like the primary dude. She was like
Oh,
second.
yeah. I guess they already got one white dude, so they're like, it's
yeah,
chill
you need
now.
at least like one at least.
Just get Puck. He's close enough.
He's close. He's the closest.
Yeah, just like I put Puck on the mic and he's just like, yeah, I hate brown people, and like instantly, just like Texas, like Florida, like
We just send our lightest skinned brown person. And
sweep.
this should do.
Yeah, maybe that's Puck's role. Maybe that's Puck's role in the Ogata administration.
I don't want to live in that timeline. Be real.
I want to. Hello?
I mean, you get to be press secretary. Like, you don't have like a real job.
Wait a second.
You just stand up there and yap. Like,
That's a great job. That sounds honestly like the best job one could have. I do that for free every day. I'm doing that right now.
true.
I'm getting paid basically to do what we're doing.
Secretary of
currently.
podcasting.
At this
We
rate,
would
they
have a
might have one.
podcast. Can you imagine like an Oval Office podcast? Would that not be tough?
That was
That
lap.
would be
That was lap.
crazy.
4 cabinet or 3 cabinet members and the president. Yeah.
That would be crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then you could have different cabinet members as guests. Like, wait, tell me why they're not doing this, man.
I don't know. I've seen Trump go on like streams.
Like, I'd actually listen. Like, I'd actually watch. I feel like it should just be part of the Oval Office. You know what I mean? Like, it should carry through presidencies. Like, it should just be like a thing that is done.
Like the Instagram or the Twitter stuff that now carries through.
Yeah,
Right?
like how they have those. It should be like that. Like,
Just like Russia just launched their nuclear arsenal. Tell me about that.
I feel like it would be better than these press conferences where like
It's a long form
nothing ever
content.
happens.
You know, that's the new thing.
It's true.
It's a new fad.
And they'd be able to like, unless they did it live, they'd be able to like.
Edit it and
Cut
like
out-
yeah,
edit
cut out things that
anything.
they don't need. I feel like you definitely don't do it live. Like you definitely don't do it live. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine you just say some stupid shit by accident, and then like you start World War III.
I mean, that can happen now too, though. Like,
Yeah, true.
I mean, like honestly, like a live podcast would just look like the Trump Vance Zelensky meeting. It would just be like the three of them just like sitting in a circle there, and that was basically a podcast, right?
That actually, that basically is, yeah. You
And
know,
look how hard that meeting slapped.
oh, look at the numbers it did though, right? That
It
podcast
did do numbers, yeah.
consistently, it could do numbers. What I'm saying, people would actually like we all knew about it coming here, right? None of us like before the recording this episode today had to inform anyone of like that happening. We all just knew independently.
It's true.
Somebody should just honestly just like tell Elon Musk he might do it. Like legitimately, he might do it.
The non-zero
Yeah,
probability.
he's
sure.
doing whatever the fuck he wants now, anyways.
You know what? We will do it.
I'm telling you,
when
After
the Ogata
the
administration, things are gonna change.
administration enters. I'm waiting.
I promise nothing.
I'm waiting for this day. Exactly. That's what we want. Like we don't want a false promise. You promise nothing, then if you do anything, we'll
You
be
win.
happy. Proud. America. Cobb, insert the eagle sound. Actually, Cobb, just make the eagle sound.
I do not know how to make the eagle sound. You guys were the ones who made
Make
the sound
it.
effects last time.
Brene, make the sound. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Noah, can you leave us off with this episode with like an inspirational speech about what you want to do with this country? Brene will do the ad libs.
My fellow Americans, I am not proud of our nation.
Boom,
I am not happy to live here.
boom.
If there were another better country to move to, I would be there in a heartbeat.
Idiots.
There is not. Because we live in a shitty world, in a shitty timeline,
Shabuski.
and we're all stuck here until we die.
True.
If you vote for me, I cannot promise that the economy will go well. I cannot promise that we will not get into new wars, probably in the Middle East.
Domain expansion.
I cannot promise that you will be happier, healthier, or that your lives will in any way improve noticeably.
Boom.
I cannot promise that we will not all be killed by a pandemic or a nuclear war or an asteroid striking the Earth. What I can promise is that I am Asian.
Egoista.
My cabinet members are Asian. They are brown.
Best believe it, Buster.
One of them, two of them, watch anime.
Yeah, boy.
Yoichtenkai.
Vote for me. That's it. That's all I got.
Fire.
Okay,
Excellent.
very
Round of
nice.
applause.
Very nice.
You got my vote, Noah.
Perfection. All right. Yeah, you got all our votes. It's time to get it started. Time to kick off the campaign. So if you're interested in seeing our very own Noah Gata from Stating the Obvious run for president, be sure to let us know down in the comments, you know? If you really love the idea, even just drop a like, drop a follow, subscribe, follow us, follow your future president, the cabinet, the administration that's going to change the world, or maybe not. And is that so bad? Regardless, thank you for listening. Vote for Noah, and we'll see you in the next one.